She is the wife of presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson. Candy Carson is on the line as we're in the middle of this big presidential campaign. So honored to have you on the air, Candy Carson. Good morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
I'm glad you came on with us. So, first of all, I just want to. I know you're writing the book, and by the way, the book is called "Doctor in the House," and of course, that doctor would be your husband.
Yes.
And what's this campaign trail been like? I've never seen one like this.
What do you mean with
in
so many
terms
people
of just
involved?
so many involved, but it just seems the fighting has been it's been one of the tougher campaigns I think I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. To tell you the truth, I'm new to being in the midst of it, of course.
Yeah.
I really can't compare them to others so much because I wasn't a political junkie like Ben was. He's been involved with. He loved the news and things that were coming on with it in politics since the time when Martin Luther King was out there, and there were hoses and dogs and all that kind of thing. I mean, I think he was in a barbershop chair when he was watching the TV, and then it just grabbed him. So from that point on, he was really into it. I, to tell you the truth, haven't been doing a lot of that kind of stuff because kids and
sure, yeah,
and things like been a little be preoccupied with making sure that the next generation in our family was going to do okay. But the thing with that is too, we all knew in the family that Ben got home as much as he could, and when he wasn't there, he was saving lives. So
right.
It wasn't that much of a sacrifice in the sense that we understood. But the campaign trail is probably what you'd expect in the sense that you're traveling a lot. I mean, most times I expect for most of them it's a different hotel room every night. You're packing every day, and you you don't really know. You try to remember where you are, but sometimes you forget. Because to tell you the truth, wherever we go, people are wonderful. I mean, we have a great country. Wonderful cultures all over, a beautiful topography and geography, all that. It's all beautiful, but the best thing is the people, and so many of them, most of them, all the ones we run into, resonate with logic, common sense, Judeo-Christian values, and not stealing from future generations. And right. That's one of the things we're doing with this debt that we have in the fiscal gap. The quality of life for the future generations is not going to be the same as ours. They won't have the same opportunities, and that's what's scary. So that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I'm on board with it because I look at my grandbabies because we now have 2 granddaughters and a little grandson on the way, and they should have at least the same opportunities we have.
You would think
every other generation has made it better for the next generation, and we're the first ones to make it worse. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking. I mean, we would think at this point in our history that we've actually made it better. The opportunities for African Americans today are far greater than they ever have been. But there is a widening of that economic gap that just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. And you want to say you just let the economy work its way out, but you want to.
No, we've got work to do.
Okay.
I mean, and see, one of the reasons why the economy's messed up and jobs. I mean, we have the highest corporate tax rate in the world. So American businesses that have locations outside of the United States have to be accountable to their shareholders. So they don't bring that money from out there back into our country because as soon as they do, it's taxed at that highest rate, which is 35%. A lot of our companies went to Canada because they dropped theirs down to 15%. It's understandable. So we lost a lot of jobs that way. And if we could do something to bring that back, and one of the things my husband has said would help with that is to bring that money back by having a tax holiday for 6 months with where they don't have to pay taxes on that money that's coming back, but what they have to do is use 10% of it to create jobs for those that are homeless or unemployed or on welfare. Yeah. And that way we give people their dignity back. People want to work. They don't want to be out there not doing anything.
When they've said, Donald Trump saying, well, he doesn't have it, your husband, Dr. Ben Carson, doesn't have it in his belly. He doesn't have the fierceness. And your husband is a very level-headed man, and almost like they're trying to prod him to get fiery, but that's not who he is.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, when you consider that when he was 14 and he almost stabbed someone. He actually did try to stab someone. The knife just didn't make contact with flesh. And he prayed for that temper to be taken away.
Yeah.
From that point on, he was a much calmer person. And consider this as a neurosurgeon, because this just came to me like last week. I was just thinking about, things in general, and I said, gosh, here he is. He's operating in a small field.
Yeah.
A brain is smaller than,
Right.
most other parts of the body.
Mm-hmm.
But think about this, too. He's operating on children, and their brains are even smaller. So he's trying to make these very minute incisions where if he were to sneeze or if he were to breathe too hard,
mm-hmm.
that scalpel might go to a place where it would cause blindness,
Right.
or loss of hearing, or death. So
Right.
you have to, and when you're operating like that for 10, 20 hours at a 10, 15, I think most
Sure.
of them were between 10 and 15 hours. But you're operating like that for 10 to 15 hours, and you're doing that for 30 years. You're going to be a calmer person because you can't be excitable.
Yeah.
If an aneurysm that you didn't even see in the pre-op, when you were looking at different things and seeing what you had to deal with, you didn't see this and it bursts over here when you're working over in another section. Well, you got to take care of that and do it in an expeditious way, very calmly and methodically. So he's one who's learned to solve problems no matter what arises, other complications come up. He's taking more 2 a.m. calls, with life and death situations.
Yeah.
So, to tell you the truth, if there's one that's I think he's probably the one that is most qualified because of that sort of thing that he's had to do, and serving on corporate boards, working in business, and so he's got the credentials. He's got 67 honorary degrees.
Wow.
They don't give those out like candy.
Right.
You have to do something. You have to have some accomplishments. So, if 67 universities can recognize him as a person that they want to put in front of their kids, I think we might want to consider that he might be the best person for this job.
Candy Carson is the wife of Dr. Ben Carson, running for president. Andrew, with a quick question, go ahead.
Yeah, Candy, did you ever think to yourself when he had approached you, Dr. Carson approached you to say, honey, I want to run for president, was there ever a thought of saying you are out of your mind?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes. That's the first thing, because, we were thinking, because, for 38 years, I had given him up to medicine. And doing a lot of things by myself, and when you read in the book and you find, when I first started going to a church in Baltimore, and the people didn't know me from Adam, but here was this woman coming claiming that she had a husband that was a doctor, and they never saw him. They started to think I was crazy,
Yeah.
They never saw him, and they didn't have. So anyway, but yeah, the minister did go to the hospital and verified it, and so that calmed their fears, but. It's just, it's you think, I finally have an opportunity to do things with my husband like a normal couple would, and we did for a little bit.
Hey, I would ask you, how do you handle, Donald Trump has been so mean with some of the comments about your husband. How do you handle that?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't listen. I'm just not a news junkie. I regular news, but that kind of thing, most times I miss it, so I don't know what's going on with that, because to me it's not what's really important. What's really important right now, our founding fathers said that our country, our system of government, was based on a well-informed and well-educated populace. And we don't have that right now. There's so many distractions, and some of the media is not putting the word out there like it should be. So, that you've got this jaded viewpoint that's out there, and it's prevalent. It's really sad that it's prevalent as it is. So many people aren't aware that we have an $18.5 trillion deficit, and it's easy enough to say, but if you were to try to pay that off at a rate of $10 million a day, 10 million, 365 days a year, it would take you 5,000 years.
Yeah.
And that's the good news. When it comes to the fiscal gap, which politicians won't talk about, but like my husband says, I'm not a politician, so I'm going to talk about it. This fiscal gap is the unfunded liabilities like Medicare, Medicaid, other government programs compared with the tax revenues and other revenues that would be coming in. And if we were fiscally responsible, those would be pretty much level, but they're not.
Right.
We're at over $200 trillion with the fiscal gap. We've got to do something, and quickly, before we're at the point where we can't do that. The quality of life for the next generation is going to be so much worse than ours, and it's not really fair to these young people to be putting all this on them.
Yeah, it's
We've got to
completely a
do
risk.
something and turn it around.
Christy.
Candy, the possibility, obviously, that you would be the first lady or possibly even the second lady, what would your main priority be for the nation in that role?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, First Lady is really not a goal of mine.
Yeah.
And so I don't look to that.
Yeah.
Right now, I've got a burning fire in my belly to help people understand what's going on in this country. When that time comes, if I am there, whatever the problems are, that's what I'll deal with. Whatever needs to be done, has the highest priority, and I'll just take them in priority. But tell you the truth, I'm not really thinking along those lines, because what's more important right now is to wake everybody up to what's going on, because we've got to get people out to vote their conscience, vote according to the person that is speaking for you with your principles and values.
Yeah.
Because we really do need to get someone in there that is really serious about doing what's best for our whole country and a uniter, someone who is not about my side, your side, Democrat or Republican, but about getting everybody together to work to solve these huge problems we have in this country.
Coming up in March, we're going to be voting here in New York. And what do you want to say to those Republican voters?
I want to say, know your candidate. Know what their policies are. Try to vote for the person that's going to most represent you and your values and principles. And remember that we are a Judeo-Christian country. We are not any other. And even though PC has said, we allow other people to come in here and so, but like, which president was it? Listen to my husband; he'll tell you which president it was. But there was one that said, "Look, you're welcome to come here as long as you will embrace our values and principles and not try to turn us into something else."
Candy Carson, the wife of Dr. Ben Carson, and we appreciate so much your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, good
and
luck.
Happy New Year, even though we're almost halfway through January. It's still
I feel
new.
you can say it in January. Happy New Year is good anywhere in January. So Happy New Year to you. All right, good luck.
You.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
The book is A Doctor in the House, My Wife with Ben Carson, and that is Candy Carson, the wife of Dr. Ben Carson. Very interesting, her perspective. It doesn't seem like she's doing all the traveling with him. And I tried to lure her into a Donald Trump comment, but she didn't bite on that. Well, actually, I tried to lure her on a couple there, but she didn't bite. Got a break. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8 o'clock.